when the fun stops, stop. That's what they tell you. When the fun stops, stop. A very familiar gambling phrase or slogan at the end of a lot of gambling adverts, which and there are a lot of them. And I'm a recovering gambling addict, so to see these adverts is a pain. This is my story. My name's Adam. I'm 38 years old in 2 days' time. And I'm a recovering gambling addict. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed to admit it. That's where I released a video 6 months ago. So if you haven't seen it, the link is in the description below. And I got some really good feedback. People saying you have to do a follow-up video. People reaching out saying, oh, I'm in the same boat as you. So it's nice to hear that you're not the only one. And there's loads of us around. Different variations of how deep they've got themselves into debt. But we're all in the same boat. And I know I'm still in that boat and I'm not out of the woods yet. So my opinion of gambling, of all the addictions, it's the worst. Because it's a mental one. Drink and drugs, I kicked the drugs because it was a physical thing. I noticed the difference it was, and I didn't like where it was taking me. So I did knock down the head for my own sanity. But with gambling, it's tougher because it's all mental. There's no physical things. It's affecting your brain. It's completely mental. And the worst thing about it is, as I've said, the adverts. They're all over the place. You do get alcohol adverts. You never get fag adverts or drug adverts. You know, come and get this 10 bag. You know, this doesn't happen. But the adverts are all over the place. And the worst thing about gambling is it's just at your fingertips. You don't have to go anywhere to do it. It's all online. At the touch of a button, you've deposited 50 quid, 100 quid, and you can lose thousands of pounds in a matter of seconds, and you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own seat. That's why, in my opinion, gambling is the worst. So, this is the follow-up of how my gambling's gone since the first video I released, which was 6 months ago. At the start of lockdown, if you haven't seen the video, I was in the process of just started recovering from quitting gambling, admitting to myself I had a problem and moving forward. And I found the first couple of weeks of lockdown intense because I was so bored and I needed to do something. Now, I have had anxiety since I've been a little kid. I don't think I've ever been normal, to be fair, but here's my background story to let you know. So ever since I was a young age, I was always paranoid in my head. I always used to overthink things all the time. If I had a headache at maybe 7 years old, it wasn't just a headache at 7. Oh, mum, I've got a headache. It was, mum, I've definitely got a brain tumour, 100%. Any little thing like that was always the worst case scenario. Is something really, really bad. Moving on to sort of 15, 16, mad cow disease was coming and I had headaches and I thought, I'm almost certain I had mad cow disease. I couldn't stop thinking, I've got it. So it was sort of stress in my brain. And then something big impacted my life. My parents split up. And it knocked me for 6. I wasn't actually thinking about it too much. I saw some things I didn't want to see. I won't go into that. But it must have impacted me subconsciously. I was getting these symptoms, tingling arms, skin was itching, I had chest cramps, everything. And I was thinking, oh God, I'm dying. I'm 15 years old and I should be enjoying my youth. And I'm thinking I'm dying. So I went to the doctor. I said, I've got to get this looked at. And the doctor said, is there anything going on in your life at the moment? And I said, my parents are splitting up. And he said, you've got stress, young man. That's all it is. You're just stressed out. So I went to have some counselling because these physical effects have been going on for a matter of months and it was getting me down. So I went to my first counselling session and I spoke to the counsellor and I opened up a bit. I started speaking and it did help in a way. I spoke up and I'll never forget when he said, how do you feel sometimes? And I said, and then, I can't believe I said it, but it was true. I said, I feel like taking my own life because I was so down and hated living in my own headspace. And that my mum just broke into tears because she was there as well. And I'll never forget that day when she was crying. So leading forward onto that, that summer when I finished school, my friends introduced me to smoking cannabis. And the second I did that, these physical effects completely disappeared. No issues with that at all. Counselling, see you later counselling. I wasn't interested in counselling one little bit. I just wanted to smoke drugs. And obviously you start small and you go on to harder things. fast forward 2 years, I'm really addicted to taking ecstasy, and that really messed my head up. So from the time of I was about 20 to 22-ish, maybe 22, was in a bad place, panic attacks, depression. I was on antidepressants, the lot, because I was just, for 2 years of my life, I was just living inside a bubble in my head. I just felt like I was floating the whole time. It's doing my, I couldn't cope. I was just like, this is not me. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was thinking, who the hell is this looking back at me? Because this, I'm seeing the person I am, but my head was telling me I wasn't me. It was the worst time of my life. And if I have any regrets, one of them is taking ecstasy, because that completely messed my mind up. But I think it was a way of escaping things from the overthinking, because when I get in my headspace, and I hate being in there, if I'm in there too long, I really don't like being where I am, because I start thinking negative thoughts. They cloud my judgment and everything, and I need to be away from that. So when I was sort of mid-20s, that's when I found gambling. I was hungover one day, really badly hungover, and I didn't like my headspace. I was on edge. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I thought I needed to do something. So that's when the slots addiction started. I was already doing a little bit of gambling, as the previous video would state, but it was slots. That was always been my poison, is slots. Thousands upon thousands of pounds lost. Sometimes won, but mainly lost. And as I said, when lockdown started, it was 2 weeks of eating up, and I'd been backwards and forwards of, change the card, hide someone off the card, and it's a ridiculous cycle of, please take the card off me, I don't want to gamble again. Fast forward 4 or 5 months, I found the card, I'm gambling again. A vicious cycle, and it's still the same. Then this year, 2020, the pandemic, has affected loads of people's mental health. And at the start of lockdown, I was no different to anyone else suffering with it. I was really bad. I was thinking, I need to do something. I have to gamble. I'd self-excluded from so many sites. There was literally nowhere I could gamble. No one would touch me. I'd had Gamban, GamStop, everyone. But the gambling demon would have took over my head. It would have took over my judgment and gone, do you know what? Fuck it. Make a fake account, fake name, whatever. You need that fix. And I had to put my energy and my thought process into the YouTube channel, and it saved me. So from that point of 2 weeks into lockdown of nearly like wanting to gamble, I'm still not on the slots. I've not done any slots in 6 months, 7 months. Well, ever since I released the first video, the thought of doing them has not even crept in. Even if I see the adverts, I'm like, okay, yeah, I used to do that. I'm an ex spinner. But it's willpower. You're going to need willpower to get through it. And it's, if you're like me and you do it because you're anxious, you've got something on your mind and you're bored, you have to channel it somewhere else. You have to take a new hobby up, because that's what a lot of people are saying in the comments to the other video. And their anxiety, and that's the only thing I can offer you, is that you have to channel it somewhere else. Without the channel, God knows where I'd be. Without the YouTube channel, I dread to think I probably wouldn't have my family, because I would have somehow gambled again. And my girlfriend has literally said to me, listen, if I see you gambling, or there's money coming out of the bank for gambling for slot machines, we're through. I'll lose my family. So that's an eye-opener. It does hit home. You think, but sometimes the addiction is so strong that even though you know what you're doing is wrong, you can't help yourself. You're too deep into the addiction. So if your addiction is like mine, and it's to get out of a headspace, escapism, it's the same with drink and same with drugs. It's a way of escaping things. It's exactly the same as that. Mine's anxiety and my negative headspace. That's the reason why I gambled. But the YouTube channel has been a godsend. So I appreciate that. Work, I've started again work now. So it was 4 months I was on furlough for. So 4 months it was literally pumping content into the channel just to keep my mind occupied, no negative thoughts. And I'm quite happy about it. Then work started again, and now work has took up my content time. I'm thinking, oh man, so I'm only limited now to when I can make content. So work's not too bad, but I'm even designing merchandise and t-shirts and stuff for subscribers, because again, it keeps my mind occupied. I'm not gambling. the first thing you have to do with an addiction, I think, is admit you've got a problem. If you do not admit to yourself you've got a problem, you'll never help yourself. I mean, the amount of times I've cancelled my bank card and thinking that was it, problem solved. I never actually stood up and went, do you know what? I've got a gambling addiction. I've got a problem. I just went, no, that's all right. I'll cancel it now. That'll sort it out. Just kidding myself. I have a problem, and I'm still not out of the woods yet. Even though all the adverts, my friend, I won't mention the name, sent me a video the other day of someone he knew who'd won £8,000, and he sent me the video of the spins coming in, and I was like, oh shit. It got me a little bit excited, I'm not going to lie, because I saw it, I thought, fucking hell man, that's £8,000, that's a lot of money. But I saw through that, and then I was out working with another person I work with, no names mentioned, and he's lost a little bit of money recently spinning, but we were just reminiscing of times of games, and I almost felt the buzz coming back, like, yeah man, I could go for that, but no, I went, no, I can't. I don't do sports bets anymore. I will not set foot in a bookies, because I know all you got to do is go in there, turn around, and I'll see the slots. I'm like, and that's going to test my willpower. And it comes down to willpower to beat an addiction. You can't just do support from your family. So I've had that. Without the support of my family, I would have struggled. The channels help me out, and helping yourself and strong willpower. I'm still, as I said, it's probably my longest I've been without spinning on a slot since I started. It's got to be 8-9 months since I've had a spin. But as I said, I've been in these places before where I lack of judgment, and I'm back on it again. And as long as I've got the channel and the support of my family, and I'm keeping my mind occupied, I can do it. And I know you guys can do it too. So if you're watching this video thinking I'm in the same boat as this, just honestly keep your mind occupied, focus on other things. There are ways around it, but firstly, admit you've got a problem. That's the first step to recovery, is admitting you've got an issue. Whew, I've got an issue. I have gambled though, I'm not going to lie. I still get the old buzz for a little bit. So do you know, in lockdown, in about 8 months, I've bought maybe 10, 11 scratch cards or something like that. It makes me look like I'm a hypocrite by saying preaching, but never been a problem. It's just to get that little bit of buzz. So as I said, I'm still not out of the woods yet, because you still crave that buzz. But for slots, which was my poison, I'm proud of myself, and you guys can be proud of yourself as well if you're willing to kick the habit. Because I said, some of the comments I've had on my previous video were like, I've blown 40 grand in 5 years, stuff like this. I'm like, whoa, those figures are way bigger than what I ever done. That's some crazy figures. And then there's people that's worse than that. I've known so many people have problems with gambling. Is it because of escapism? Comment below. The reason why you gamble, is it to escape from something? You do it because you just like the buzz? Is it nothing? Some people, celebrities, struggle with it, but I find they have money, but they just spend more money because they have more money. They just start mega big stakes. I never had that problem with mega big stakes because I'm not rich. But I started taking out debts to recover debts. Oh man, I've just lost that. I need to take a loan out. Oh shit, hold on a minute. If you watch my other video, you'll see it all. So listen, keep your mind occupied. Strong willpower. If you admit to yourself you have a problem, if you feel like, hold on a minute, I'm losing a lot of money here, just open your eyes a minute and think to yourself, actually, do I have a gambling problem? And seek help. There's no shame in seeking help. As I said, I had to do it. Best thing I've done, to be fair, seeking help. Because otherwise you're just living a lie to yourself. And always remember, what you're doing, you shouldn't be ashamed of what you do. It doesn't make you a bad person. We all have issues, mental health issues. Every single one of us has secrets. Mine's depression and negative thoughts. So I have to keep my mind occupied at all times, by hook or crook. Spending time with the kids, spending time with my girlfriend, designing stuff, creating content, doing live streams, honestly anything, just to keep my mind occupied before I start slipping into the headspace I don't want to. So it can be achieved, you can do it, so just knuckle down and you can do it. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to smash the like button for me if you have liked it, and leave any comment, anything you want to say. I'll reply back to any comment. If you're on the same, but if you want advice, support, I'm there for any of you guys that are suffering with any addiction, not just gambling, just an addiction's a pain in the bum. It's plain and simple. But if you want to kick it, you can do it. Stay safe, guys.